Welcome to my channel. In today's video we have this delicious sancocho, oh my god, with guinea fowl, smoked pork chop. We have this delicious corn dumplings, we call it bollo de maíz in Dominican Republic, fresh corn. We have, as meat, we have guinea fowl, we have pork chop, smoked pork chop, is smoked pork bone. We have beef back rib, and we also have beef neck bones. Oh my god, if you never had sancocho, you're missing a lot, because sancocho is a special soup that we make in the Dominican Republic with different vegetable and different meat, and we add all of those meat in different flavor. Look how nice and thick the consistency come out, and nice and beautiful color. So let's do this. Let's learn something about the Dominican culture today. Let's do this recipe step by step. If you are new here, I invite you to subscribe. Please help me out. Help me out. You know, in this channel, I speak with a broken English, but the food tastes delicious, delicious, delicious. Activate the notification bell so YouTube can notify you whenever we have a new recipe. Let's do this. And the veggie that we are going to be using, or we call it in Spanish vianda or vivere, is pumpkin, cassava, carrots, corn, jautía. I really don't remember the name in English, but this is some type of yam, and plantain and potato. This is what's going to give the soup that nice and thick consistency that we are looking for. The pumpkin is going to add that nice texture and color. So here we have the meat that we are going to be using for today's sancocho or soup. We use some beef back ribs, and we have some beef neck bones. We also have some pork smoked bones. We have some smoked pork chop, and we have Dominican longaniza, and we also have what we call in Spanish guinea. In English they call it guinea fowl. This is going to have an amazing flavor. The traditional Dominican sancocho is made with 7 different meats. I don't think I have a pot big enough in my house to put all of the veggie and all of the meat that is required to make the original traditional sancocho. I bought a big one, but because my goal is to make it for you guys, because I want you guys to see all of that together. And the flavor is amazing. But in here I have enough ingredient that is gonna add this soup a delicious flavor, delicious taste that is going to be amazing for this cold day. It is going to be snowing tomorrow in New York. We're expecting a snowstorm. I think the biggest storm so far in 2025. So I am going to be prepared for that storm. I'm going to be watching that snow falling on the window while I'm sitting nice and cozy eating my sancocho. I don't know how to explain the feeling of that I just described. Yeah. And here we have a nut with culantro, cilantro, green onion, thyme, and celery. All of it together tied up with the cilantro. So later on, when it's time to remove it, I only had to take one piece out and we're good. I have a half an onion that was a leftover from yesterday, piece of Italian pepper, red pepper, and green pepper, one ajicito gustoso, and 4 pieces of garlic. And I'm going to add it to my beef bones, and I'm going to let it boil with that. And we're going to add salt and pepper. Now I'm going to add some Dominican oregano. the black pepper, salt. I only put a little bit of salt because I'm going to put chicken cube and a little bit of adobo, and I don't want it to be salty. So I put enough water to cover all the bones. I'm also going to, after a boil for 30 to 40 minutes, I'm going to take 2 cups of the liquid to use it as a broth, because I'm going to season this beef to make a beef, potato, and carrot stew tomorrow. But to add like more flavor, I'm going to use part of this beef broth. That's why I'm not putting together. I normally boil everything together, the pork and the beef, when I'm gonna make sancocho, this type of soup. But today, because I have the plan of making that recipe tomorrow, I'm not doing it. So I'm gonna boil it separate so I could take the broth only with the beef taste, not with the pork. So that's a trick if you have a plan or you like to store some beef broth when you boil bones to make soup. Save 1 cup or 2, so when you're making another recipe that you have to add some beef broth, you have that nice flavor. It tastes better than the one from the supermarket, and the best thing is that you know what you put in there. This smells amazing, all these fresh ingredients that it has. So that beef broth not only gonna have a nice taste from the bones, but it's also gonna have a nice flavor from the fresh ingredient that we put in, and it's gonna be my style, my way. Just keep in mind that since we put salt and adobo and chicken cube that has sodium, that when you are making your other recipe, keep that in mind that this broth already going to have sodium. And at this point, I'm just going to see how the water went down so much. I'm going to take 1 cup of the liquid to save it for my broth. And we added the same nut that we added to the other bones: cilantro, green onions, celery, and thyme. And now we're going to add the peppers and the garlic, the same thing we did to the other bones. But in here we have the longaniza, and later on when the bones start getting more soft, I will be adding the smoked pork chop, because the smoked pork chop come pre-cooked, so I don't really have to boil it, but the longaniza does not come pre-cooked, so I have to cook it. That's why I put it in. So I added basically everything that I added to the beef bones, but I didn't add a chicken cube or adobo, just because the smoked pork bones come with sodium already, and I don't want to make it salty. So I added oregano, ajicita gustoso, red pepper and green pepper, and the cilantro and the culantro and the other things that I told you earlier, and onion and fresh garlic, but I did not put anything with salt. So I added basically everything that I added to the beef bones, but I didn't add a chicken cube or adobo, just because the smoked pork bones come with sodium already, and I don't want to make it salty. So I added oregano, ajicita gustoso, red pepper and green pepper, and the cilantro and the culantro and the other things that I told you earlier, and onion and fresh garlic, but I did not put anything with salt. So because I removed part of the liquid, I added more water, fill it up to the top until I cover the meat, and I re-added chicken cube and adobo, and I added more cilantro and 2 garlic cloves. I crushed the garlic. So then like that, the flavor that got lost, me removing 1 cup of the liquid and adding fresh water, it could gain back the flavor, and now it tastes amazing. and the water got reduced again, and our meat is already tender. So I'm going to turn off the flame, and what I'm going to do now is remove all of those veggies that I put in there, right? And remove all the fat from the liquid, separate the bones, right? Put it in a bowl, cover it with I'm gonna cover it with saran wrap so the meat doesn't get dry from the bones, and it preserves its juice and its flavor. And when the vegetable that I'm gonna put on the sancocho are already tender, I'm gonna add the meat or the bones in the sancocho. But to make the sancocho, and I'm only gonna add the liquid at the beginning. At the end, I'm gonna add the bones, because the bones, you already boiled them and the flavor is already here. And that's a technique that I was told when I was little, so you could have your meat with good flavor and your liquid with good flavor. And as you see, I had it with a lot of water, and now the water evaporated most of it. I'm gonna re-add more water, and now I'm going to, once it starts boiling again, I'm going to add 2 pieces of pork chop, but I'm gonna cut it in little cubes, and I'm gonna let it boil until the water come back to this level, so then like that it could get flavor, because the pork chop already pre-boiled, cooked. So then like that I don't have to really cook it for too long. And I added all the vegetable, and I put it to boil the liquid from the meat, and I just added the meat, and our soup is already done. All this veggie, fresh ingredient, the house smells amazing, and I'm all ready for the snow. And here I have a bowl, and I added a quarter of a cup of canola oil, and now I'm going to use 2 cups of corn flour, cornmeal, whichever you want to call it, and I'm going to add it to the bowl. And I have boiling water that I will be adding to our flour as well. And the trick is that now that you incorporated everything with the spoon or whatever you have to mix it, now you're gonna take it and you're gonna make a test. If it's kind of sticky, you see how it's thick in your finger, but not completely because you have oil. That means that your dough is perfect, right? It has enough water, look at that, and it has enough oil. You can literally work with it, right? It's easy to shape in whatever shape you want to. So let's make it. It's like dumplings with corn flour. So, and Dominican probably like to put it in the sancocho so it could have a thick consistency and taste delicious. You could also, we also make it just to eat it like that with bacalao, cod fish. We also make it with coconut. I'm gonna have those recipes for you guys one of these days. But it gives a nice consistency to sancocho and it makes it taste good. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna take the dough, right? And we're gonna go like this so kind of can incorporate, and then you're gonna give your dough whatever shape you want. You can make a bowl. I like making it like this. This is how they used to do it in my family in Dominican Republic. My grandmother used to make them big. She used to make them bigger than this, but I like them smaller, and they don't have to be perfect. And we just add it to our sancocho and we cover it so it can cook. And look how nice our corn dumpling look. Wow, amazing. And it add a nice thick consistency to our soup or sancocho, and the taste, oh, and it smells so delicious because you know I also added fresh corn, and now the aroma of the corn, just amazing, amazing, amazing. I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this recipe. I made it with a lot of love, and I hope you guys also make it in your home. And this is the end of today's recipe. Now I'm going to turn off the stove and serve.